Hello, Giving What We Can.
I'm so excited that Giving What We Can is now over 200 times larger than when we launched 10 years ago.
Getting to 5,000 members just absolutely blows my mind. It's a full 217 times as many members as we had at launch 11 years ago.
It's overwhelming to be part of such a large and friendly community of people, all striving to make the world a much better place.
It's really incredible how much people in our community donate and how much they think about how to use those donations to help people as much as possible.
I first came across Giving What We Can at a talk that I went to as an undergraduate at Oxford University. The talk was about 80,000 hours, and they mentioned the pledge.
I first read about Giving What We Can in a newspaper article some 10 years ago. At that time, I was really feeling that I needed to do more to help others, but I wasn't quite sure how to do that.
When I first learned about Giving What We Can, I remember feeling so relieved that there were all these other people out there who were not just thinking about what we can do for others, but were taking concrete action on that.
I remember when I first took the pledge, it felt really quite scary. I was a graduate student at the time and I had a scholarship for my accommodation paid for, but I was living on about £4,500 per year and I was trying to give about £900 of that away over the year. It was tough. I remember I refused to get a haircut because it seemed like an unnecessary expense. And now, given my pandemic hair, it's 11 years on and some things haven't changed.
At the outset, when Toby Ord was persuading me to join, it felt like an attempt to start a new movement. You could almost think of it as like a Fabian movement for our particular moment in history. And that seemed a little ambitious at the outset, but now 10 years on, with Giving What We Can, now having 5,000 people taking that pledge, and being part of a larger and flourishing effective altruism movement, it seems like we're really succeeding.
So I'd already thought that I would donate some proportion of my income to charity, but hearing about Giving What We Can really made me raise my ambitions to donate a significant portion of my income and also think really hard about the effectiveness of the charities that I was donating to. And both those ideas made a lot of sense to me, and so I signed the further pledge while I was an undergraduate.
Giving What We Can provided me guidance and inspiration that I really needed. It gave a sort of easy-to-follow recipe for doing some good. And I can honestly say following that recipe changed my life.
One of the things I worried about back then was whether I was going to be a sort of a social outcast, or was having to explain to people why I've chosen this weird life for myself. And the answer turned out to be no. Quite the opposite, in fact. Instead, the pledge functioned like this bat signal, attracting people all around the world with a similar set of values.
I really feel it's helped me to live up to my values, and I hope it'll make a better world for Leo to grow up in.
I really enjoy being part of the effective altruism community. Many of my close best friends and my colleagues are people that I've met through EA. And that all kind of traces back to that first meeting about 80,000 hours and hearing about and signing the further pledge.
And it's been just such a joy to see so many people come together and make a commitment to use a significant proportion of their income for the common good.
It's been really incredible watching Giving What We Can grow from a few members early on to a 5,000 strong community.
And it's felt extraordinary to be part of a growing movement to try to structurally address those problems with the resources we have available. This particular moment in 2020 feels like, in some ways, a stranger and darker time than the period when we were setting out to create this movement. But I also think that we're positioned for effective altruists to be really a constructive force for change.
On a very final note, something I want to highlight is just how excited I am about Luke taking the helm of Giving What We Can. He's an incredibly warm, dynamic, competent and committed person, and it makes me feel really optimistic about the future of Giving What We Can. I think it won't be too many years before we're having our 10,000 person celebration.
So congratulations on 5,000 members, and here's to the next 5,000.
Thank you for taking the pledge and for showing what it means to take giving seriously.